What's going on, y'all? Hey, man. Another day, another dollar. We up in here to talk about these wide receivers and how they may fit with the Dallas Cowboys. And whether you are a Dallas Cowboys fan or not, you might want to go ahead and be tuned in to this live because we may go ahead and talk about a wide receiver that you may have didn't know about, or you might have didn't look at it in a certain type of way. Well, we're going to cover it all, man. So, we in the building, man. I am studying these wide receivers, man. I definitely, what's the word I want to use? I'll just say this. I definitely came with a different outlook and a different viewpoint on regarding these players than most. What's going on, Rich? Let me see. Did I finish that up? Yes, I did. I'm gonna just say this, right? Because we're gonna talk about fit, and we're gonna talk about potential, and then we're gonna talk about, does Dak need him? That's the question, right? See, when you look at it, right? See, I look at it, especially when I look at the prospects, right? I look at how good you are. You know what I mean? First, I'm going to look at it. I'm going to evaluate you, right? And then I'm going to look at it. Okay, so how does it fit the scheme? How did this work well with Dak Prescott? What type of wide receiver does Dak Prescott need, right? If we was to lose Dak Prescott and Mike McCarthy, can this wide receiver still thrive, or any other player thrive in any any scheme that we put in, right? So I'm thinking about all these questions and then some, and then so I come to my conclusion, right? So first on our board, let me take a sip. I seen. That'd be decent. Third, fourth type of that'd be interesting. I don't know how much juice he got because I don't know if I'm supposed to. Cause I think he was coming off that knee, so I don't know if I'll just chalk it up like they treating Gallup, right? He just needed another year and it was the wrong scheme, because I believe that Tennessee was the wrong fit for Rob Woods. Rob Woods don't need to be in a scheme like Tennessee. That's just, yeah, man. Tannehill quarterback, and then you had Malik Willis, and then you had Dobbs, right? And then they want to run the football. Nah, man. See, he needed to be in something like where he left, right, with the Rams, right? So, yeah, I just think that was just a horrible fit. And, I don't know the circumstances, man. It's kind of like, because, evidently Rod Woods ain't no number one type of wide receiver. So, let's be honest with you. Rod Woods, let's just be honest. Rod Woods need a quarterback, right? And the quarterbacks he had was definitely better than what he was dealt with in Tennessee. But I know that's not going to be all the action. I know there's going to be a lot more people that's going to be released, traded. So it's going to be interesting, because I also think that not only should Dallas bring in a wide receiver that has some experience, right? Whether it be 3 years plus, whatever the case may be. I also believe they need to go get one of these rookie wide receivers. That's what I honestly believe. And I looked at about 10 of them. So, of course, we're going to look at like about 10 per position. And then after that, we're going to go to the ones that we didn't cover and then kind of just retrace our steps and see if there's some gems, right? So I went on ahead and picked a quick 10, right? And I came with these conclusions, right? Just from my eyes, right? Somebody may see it differently. And so the first one we looked at was Quentin Johnston from TCU, right? 6'4", 215, 21 years old, right? And of course, man, when you see Quentin Johnston, you like, okay, he's big, right? 6'4", 215, that's some good size, right? He probably got room to probably, throw in some more, maybe about a good 5 to 7 more pounds on him, right? And not lose his speed, right? So he's fast, right? And when I say fast, he's probably a 4.3, and 6'4", 215, running a 4.3. I see me. I don't care about 40 times. I don't care about combine. I don't care about pro day. I care about game tape, right? So, somebody may be, fast in a 40 time, but be slow game speed, right? And somebody may have run a horrible 40, but game speed, he's all over the place, right? He's fast. So I don't really pay attention. I pay attention to play speed, not track speed. And let's be honest with you, right? On certain things, like and that's what it gives. And I'll take another shot. I'll take a quick shot before we get back to the wide receiver. Let's look at Jordan Davis, right? 4'8". Did he play like he was a 4'8" D tackle? Nah. He played like his feet was in quicksand, right? So that goes to tell you, okay, yeah, you may be able to run fast. You may got some athleticism, though. But what about how you play, right? Because going ahead and going against live bodies and moving quick and moving fast and processing whatever you got to process, reading the field, all that, reading bodies, reading other opposition, all of that can impact how fast you play, right? I mean, there's a whole bunch of factors that come into play. So I don't really look at it, right? Let's look at Dontari Poe. He was a scrub, right? And he ran I think he ran about the same. What was he, about a 4.7, 4.8 too? Scrub. Straight scrub. I know some of these players be looking at me like, man, who is this man sitting over there, man? You always calling somebody a scrub. He always saying somebody weak. He always saying somebody should get cut. Hey, I'ma just call it like I see it, man. Shoot, man. It's like talking like he was talking to the homies or something like that, look, like, man, he can't do this, man. He can't do that, man. And that's how I present myself. It is what it is, man. Some don't like it, some don't. Shoot, I'm gonna talk my stuff, man. I'm gonna talk my talk, man. Shoot, man. But yeah, man. So let's get back to Quentin Johnston. So Quentin Johnston, like I said, fast. One thing that you seen was that run after the catch ability, right? Quentin Johnston can go ahead and take, a 5-yard catch into a 60-yard touchdown, right? Like, one thing that kind of comes to my mind when I think about his yak ability is the Michigan game, right? When he took it to the crib, Michigan game, right? Playoffs, right? Yeah, I mean, they got dogged in the championship, though. But making a play like that again in the Michigan game, man, that just shows that, the moment ain't too big for him, right? And he was able to get loose, right? Home run hitter, man. And that's for sure, man. You got to watch out for him because you got to watch out for the speed. See, one thing that I said about Dallas is they could use a wide receiver that's big and fast that could take the top off, right? Something like, I'll be honest with you, right? If I had to give him a comparison, even though we know the physicality ain't all the way there, I would say maybe, because especially when DK Metcalf came out, I'm going with DK Metcalf, right? Because one thing that I seen with Quentin Johnston was his route tree. I didn't see his route tree as far as him running a whole batch of routes, right? I seen a limited route tree. I've seen a lot of in-breaking routes. Just want to go ahead and get him a couple, run some ends or something like that. Go ahead and just give him some, so see if he can go break a tackle, because he did have some good play strength, right? You know, you did see him breaking tackles, you did see him going through things. So that was there, right? That was definitely there, right? And I said, right, because you know when you could make the first man miss, man, that's crucial right there. That's key right there. Making the first man miss, that's what you want right there. You know, had that playmaking ability, right? And I said, right, that he is number one as far as a number one wide receiver type potential. But I'll be honest with you, right? I don't have him as my number one wide receiver. I know the people are like, what do you mean? Right? He's big, he's fast, right? I honestly just doesn't have him as my number one wide receiver, and I'm gonna have my reasons for it. And when I tell you who's my number one wide receiver, I'm gonna tell you why he's not my number one wide receiver. Not saying that he won't be a good one, not saying that he won't be a playmaker, but as far as I'm looking at wide receivers that's coming out and what they already do, ready made, he's not my number one to me, right? He's not number one. So one thing that I see, I ain't gonna lie, I put like this, man. I even go this far, right? I put this in my notes. I really did, y'all. I really went there. I said, is he really special? And I asked the question, like, is he really special? What's special about him? There's a whole bunch of wide receivers, man, who can go ahead and go 0 to 100 real quick, but is he really special? Right? That was mine, man. That was just a question mark, right? Don't get on me. A wide receiver with our first round pick. Well, we know that he's not going to be there. There may be one or two more wide receivers after him that I will say, if they got him in the first round pick where they're at, I'm not mad at it. And we're going to get through that too, right? Because actually, he's going to be my next one that I'll talk about, that I would love to have him at that particular pick. And actually, he's my number one wide receiver that we're going to talk about next, though. But I said that, you know, of course, he was put in positions to use his speed, right? And I said, is he really special or just a very good wide receiver, right? He's quick off the line, got good hands. There was a time, man, where I seen that he had a touchdown, but he got ripped from his hands. It was against Oklahoma State. And it was, and the reason why is because he wasn't strong with the ball, right? I've heard that I guess he struggles. He has struggles in the past in previous years of catching the rock. And this year was a much improved year for him catching the rock. Right? So that's good. That means that you constantly trying to improve your game, you know, even though I shouldn't be talking about no wide receiver having a hands problem. I don't care if you're big, fast, small. Hands should not be a concern for my wide receiver, right? But like I said limited route tree. To me, he's more of a build-up runner, though, right? And what I mean by build-up runner is as you go, you start to build up speed, right? You know, I don't see, at least I didn't in the games that I watched, that him go to 0 to 100 off on the dime. You know, he kind of had to build up to it. And when he was able to build up to it, you know, he was able to crib it. So I also put this. Will he struggle against press coverage? That's a concern for me. Not saying that he can't go ahead and develop into that, but I'm thinking it's a possible, you know, maybe at first, maybe he might struggle with press coverage. I don't know. Right? I don't know. You know, I seen, you know, he had a couple focus drops though, you know, but there's a few wide receivers that we're going to talk about that had some focus drops, right? I did see that even though he may have had a drop problem in previous years, that he high pointed the football. And that's also crucial, right? If you're 6'4", 215, and you high point the football, more than likely, if you come at it with some aggressiveness, you're gonna come down with the football. Unless you just don't have strong hands. You just don't have the desire to go ahead and pull that ball. Because a lot of you going to go up to go get the football is a straight desire. This man not gonna get the football. I want it. He not gonna get it, and there ain't nothing gonna stop me from getting the football. And that's what I think that I want to see for my 6'4", 215 wide receiver. Right. I did see Georgia, the cornerback, was in his grill a little bit. He was bringing that flavor in his ear like Craig Mack a little bit. I ain't gonna lie. He was in his grill, right? But that could, I'm not gonna hold that against him because I know that he probably needs to develop more as a route runner. And of course, the NFL is gonna bring the most out of him when it comes down to route running. So when it comes down to when you hear me talk about a limited route tree, that's nothing against. Unless I say something about physically he can't perform it, then don't worry about it. Because that's something that can be developed in the NFL. So don't worry about it. But yeah, man, that's pretty much what it is. I like the wide receiver. He's good, right? He's definitely worthy of a number one wide receiver. But to me, he's not the best wide receiver, right? And I'll go ahead and tell you who the best wide receiver to me is, the number one. The wide receiver from USC, Mr. Jordan Addison, 6 foot 175. That's who the number one wide receiver is to me, right? Mr. Jordan Addison. And we're going to talk about why he's the number one wide receiver to me, right? When I see Jordan Addison, I see quickness. I see a good route runner. I see good stop-start quickness, right? I don't have that concern as what we talked about with Quentin, right? Does it take him a while to get going? Nah, Jordan Addison can get going on the stop of a dime. We see that he gets separation, right? Whether it be with route running or whatever the case may be. People said that, is he a slot wide receiver? His size, he's 6 foot 175. Let me tell you something. If Tyreek Hill can be a number one wide receiver, then Jordan Addison could be a number one wide receiver. Now, I'm not saying that, I'm going to give you a comparison. I'm not saying that he's him, but I was saying that when I watched him, it kind of gave me some vibes, some Amari vibes, as far as how he goes about his route running, right? Short area quickness is there, right? Has potential to be a number one wide receiver, right? But coming in, of course, he's going to be that complimentary. He's going to be that 2-3, of course, coming in, right? And I wouldn't necessarily put the Quentin Johnston in a number one wide receiver position off the route. I would let him develop, right, and see what you can get. He's not no Quentin Johnston as far as speed-wise. But when you're quick like that, you don't need to. He may be what, a 4-4? 4-4. Cool, good enough. 4-4, good enough, right? He's a playmaker for sure. They said that he had a drop issue at Pitt. And I looked at a couple Pitt games. Some of that seem to be concentration drops, right? See, we got a lot of these wide receivers that got concentration drops, right? So, but I've seen Amari have concentration drops. I've seen CD have concentration drops. I've seen Terrell Owens have concentration drops. So it's it happens, right? Let's see like Brandon Lloyd or Larry Fitzgerald, sometimes, hey, it happens, right? Whether it be the short, intermediate, or deep, Addison is gonna get open. He's gonna get open on all three levels, right? He's gonna get open with good, precise route running on all three levels and use that quickness, right? He gets very good separation, y'all. I can't stress that enough. He gets very good separation. And he has some run after the catch ability. People said, like I said, is his physical frame a concern? Nah. But I'm gonna play a little something real quick, man. Shout out. Let me get his name, man, because I was just talking to him not too long ago. Let me get his name right. Shout out to Devi the Dynasty Football, man, for allowing me to go here, man, and use some of his content, man. So, he definitely, I know he kind of breaks it down in a little bit different though, but Devi go here. He got some college prospects that he been breaking down for throughout the year. So shout out to Devi, man. And we're gonna play a little bit with Jordan Addison when as far as is anything a concern, man. We're gonna go ahead and look at it a little bit. Let's go ahead and look at a little something. Look at Addison, man. Because somebody said that they had some run after the catch ability concerns from him. Man, I don't see no concern right here. Something real quick. Throw it to him real quick and let him go, right? Whether it be wide receiver screen or whatever the case may be. Let him go get it, man. See Addison, yo. You see, let me tell you something about Addison, right? Addison would be the perfect wide receiver for Dak Prescott. Addison is going to go ahead and get open very early and very quick, right? And that's what Dak Prescott has been missing, right? He's been missing Amari Cooper. He's been missing Cole Beasley, right? So you know that Amari Cooper can get open real quick, and you know that Cole Beasley can get open real quick. And evidently, you're seeing whether it be, when him missing Cole, he struggled. And when he had Amari Cooper, he started to thrive a little bit better, right? But then when you seen the year without Amari Cooper and you wasn't able to replace him, and you're replacing with mediocre talent, right? You couldn't really thrive. That's why you try to bring in Ty, right? Ty had the ability to go ahead and win quick, but we didn't use Ty the way that we were supposed to use Ty. So therefore, we got the results that we got because we know that Dak Prescott is not going to make nobody better. You need wide receivers that's going to go ahead and make Dak Prescott better. And Jordan Addison right here from USC, he's a wide receiver that can make Dak Prescott better. And I believe that would be the ideal wide receiver for Dak Prescott. Right there, man. Go get that thing. Man, when I was watching Addison, I seen a lot as far as I seen a lot of separation, man. Right? Had room, like, quarterback wouldn't, there wasn't no need to be able to, make the little tight throws because he would, at least from the games that I watched, he would just always make sure that he was open. Look at that. Stop. Boom. That's beautiful. That's what Dak gonna need that. Look at that. Dak gonna need that. Look at that. The comeback. Dak gonna need that. Dak gonna need that. He for sure gonna need. Woo. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. That is beautiful. He can come, man. Beautiful. Come on. Look how much green it is. Look how much green it is, man. Look how much green it is, man, when he run his route. I like Jordan Addison. And if Jordan Addison happened to be available when the Dallas Cowboys pick, if it ain't Bijan there, if it ain't Bijan, I think he would need to be the pick. If it's not Bijan, they say Bijan not gonna be available. Maybe not, but it ain't like it is no possibility, right? Is Bijan? I mean, teams is not taking running backs like that no more. Top 5, unless he's very, very special. And Bijan and very, very special. But even though I say Bijan is better than Gibbs, the teams will probably be more likely to go with the speed, right? And if Bijan for somehow he's a first round pick, him and Gibbs, they first round picks. But unless you just like, hey, this is my guy, and I don't want to go ahead and wait to get him, then somebody will probably get Bijan or Gibbs in the teens, right? Addison, maybe a team might go ahead and be scared of his frame. They might be scared of his frame. I say, Dallas, you should not be scared of his frame. I say, Dallas, go with it. I like Addison. He's my number 1 wide receiver, right? And the cold thing is it's really about his route running. It was smart. It was a good move for him to be at USC. It was a good move to be at USC. He just always finds a way to get open, man. Whether he be him finding holes in zone coverage or he just going ahead and toasting somebody, man on man. He always finds a way to get open, and he always has a lot of separation. It just, come on. I just think, man, this would be the ideal wide receiver, man. If I had to tell you a number 1 wide receiver for the Cowboys in this draft that'll go ahead and fit the bowl, not only for Dak Prescott, but for what Mike McCarthy wants to do, it'll be Jordan Addison. You see, frames, man. Excuse me. Frame, that's why you got Whataburger over there in Texas. You understand? That's why you got Whataburger. That's why you got burgers and fries over there in Texas, man. That's why you got fried chicken. You know what I'm saying? You ain't worried about the beef. You remember Randy Gregory came up in here 215, 220 pounds. And now all of a sudden, Randy Gregory 250, 260. Right? Let him go ahead and grow into his grown man body. Because he going to continue to grow. He going to continue. Look at that. Look, come on, man. Come on, man. Stack him up. Come on, man. Come on. Now, look. I've seen a lot of Quentin Johnston as well. But I didn't see that from Quentin. I didn't see that from Quentin. I did not see that from Quentin. Look at that. Come on. Look, come on. Come on. Boo. That's what Dak need right there. You see it at the top of the screen. That's what Dak need right there. Quentin Johnston can't do that. Not right now. I'm not saying he may get developing in it. But right now, Addison can do that. This is ideal for Dak Prescott, man. He my number 1, man. He my number 1. And route running separates him from the pack. It separates him from the pack. Turpin trying to get some wide receiver reps. I mean, I don't know why. Maybe because they wasn't confident enough with him at wide receiver. They didn't think that he stepped up enough, and he wasn't, he was a liability for him playing wide receiver. I don't know, but regardless, man, if it was the plays or whatever the case may be, there's plenty of opportunities where they could have used him more this year, right? But all you got to do is just, man, let Turpin take the top off the defense, man. And if you get you some route runners with Gallup and CD working the short, come on, man. There's going to be so much room to work underneath, yo. There's going to be so much room. So if they can use Turpin, use him kind of like when the Bears had Devin Hester and they started putting him a little bit more a wide receiver. Putting him in that. Like Josh Cribbs. Who else, man? Man, I can't think of that other one, man. I can't think of his name, man. I got him in my head, but I can't think of his name, man. But yeah, man, even back in the day, man, they would go ahead and use they returners, man. And for matter of fact, the Jaguars returner was on plays to go ahead and make us, whether it be ending the rounds or something quick, just getting the ball in his hands and letting it be a playmaker. If you got a punt returner and a kick returner, man, who make people miss for a living, why not you go ahead and put that on the field so he can do the same thing on the field? What's going to be the difference? You got people who getting a running head start at him, and they come and he making a miss. So you telling me he can't do the same thing with people in stationary positions, people that's kind of using their momentum in one way, and then you go ahead and use the other way and go ahead and juke them out their socks to go ahead and get you a nice game? Come on, man. Kellen Moore fumbled that, man. But evidently, if he talking like that, though, Rich, he need to step up at wide receiver if he talking like that. But yeah, man, that's my number one. So let's get into the next one, man. Jackson Smith, man, in Jibba, man, I'm probably butchering his last name, man, y'all. But 6'1", 200, Ohio State. All right. Now, this was interesting, too, because I done seen a lot of people say that if it wasn't for the injury this year, it was he probably be the best one coming out the class, and they said that he is the best one coming out the class. I disagree. Right? I disagree, and I'm gonna tell you why I disagree. He's a good route runner, right? He's technical, right? He's fundamentally sound when it comes to route, and he has to be like that to get open. But he's not no burner. Now, if he was a burner with that route running, I'll probably be telling you him over Addison right now. But he's not. He don't have that quick, but he's a good route runner, right? One thing that I've seen, even though he's not a burner, he's still got good yak ability, good yards after the catch. He works the middle well, right? I've seen a lot of the times where he find holes in the zone. I've seen a willing blocker. I've seen very good hands, right? See a route run, but my thing is, okay, what's going on with them injuries, though? What's going on with that? I believe he had the knee injury. What's going on with that, right? He's a good wide receiver, y'all, but I don't think he's what the Cowboys need, though. I think he'll fit somewhere else, but I don't think he's what the Cowboys need, though, right? Now, they be like, what you mean? 2 times you said that we needed some good route running. Yeah, good route running with good short area quickness, though. And he doesn't have that, at least he doesn't have that to me, right? Not from what I've seen. No, I'm certain he doesn't have that, right? But he's a good wide receiver. I think the situation that he was in when he was thriving before that is when he had Garrett Wilson and Chris Olave there. I think that's the type of wide receiver that he is. That's the type of situation that he should thrive in. I might be more open to it if I could tell you that Michael Gallup was coming back into his own, but I don't know that. But him at number 3 with his route running, I think he'll be good in the scheme that has that. I say like the Cincinnati Bengals, right? You know how they got Higgins and Chase, right? Him working that middle, like how they did with Boyd. I believe that he would thrive in that situation. I believe so, right? Something like that, right? Something with a team that got 2 wide receivers or 2 type of playmakers outside that can go ahead and allow him to be one-on-one a lot of the times. And I believe that he can have good productive seasons, though. But to say that he's a number 1 wide receiver, I disagree with that, yo. I disagree with that tremendously. I'll be honest with you. Did I even have him in my top five? I have to go back and look. I wrote it down anyway. I don't know if I did, y'all. I'll be honest with you. I don't think I did. But we'll go and check that out though, because we're gonna go over that anyway. But yeah, man, I mean, like I said, man, he's a good route runner, and I like that about him, right? And when you run good routes, that's gonna save you. That can make you your money, because there's another wide receiver that's in a similar boat that we're gonna talk about. And just because you don't have the athleticism, right? You're not a burner, that don't mean that you can't be productive. And the wide receiver that we're gonna talk about last, Jackson Smith, definitely has more athleticism than he does. And I'm sure that the wide receiver that we're gonna talk about at the end is gonna have a productive NFL career. I'm pretty sure of it, right? If he get in that situation, I'm pretty sure that he can, right? But we'll talk about him last, right? But you don't like Jackson Smith. I do like Jackson Smith, but I'm just not high on him like others are. So maybe I'm missing something, but I don't think I am. There's always people that stand out to me, and that they don't. And then when I see people that don't stand out to me, I gotta pay a little bit closer attention. I'm like, okay, so now I gotta really, really be on you to see, okay, so what you got, right? And Jackson, I didn't have to really pay like close attention like I did with some other wide receivers though, because it was there and it was cut and drop. But he was just gonna be, I'll just say, number one wide receiver. If you saying, right, I'll tell people like this: if you saying Jackson Smith is the number one wide receiver, then to be honest with you, then you got to say that Addison and Quentin Johnston are mediocre. They're gonna have mediocre careers if Jackson Smith is over both of them. And I don't believe that Jackson Smith is, right? Jackson Smith need to be in a good situation. I don't think every situation is for Jackson Smith. I don't think it is. But productive, I believe so, right? Because the NFL is soft now. It's soft. So when when you get to talking about physical characteristics and stuff like that, you will be more in tune and be like, he ain't gonna have success because this is how the NFL being played. But you can't touch people nowadays. You can't touch people. So if you can't touch nobody, something like Jackson Smith, he'll be able to thrive in the NFL. Maybe back in the day, might have a little tougher time. But now, but like I said, one thing I can tell you is good route running will take you far. And he does got good route running. So that's what's safe. Because if he didn't have good route running, because he probably about a 4.5 maybe, low 4, maybe touching a 4.6. I didn't see no burner on him, right? And then you already got the 6'1", 200 frame, and you ain't no burner. You ain't got no shorter. See, if Jackson, like I said, if Jackson Smith had the quickness like Addison, I'd be like, ooh, Jackson Smith may be that guy, right? Because his frame is bigger than Addison's. We will be talking about Jackson Smith, but his lack of not even speed, not even long speed. I ain't even tripping about the long speed. It's just his lack of just like quickness. Short area quickness is what concerned me. But when you run routes, of course, it'll look like you're quicker than what you are, which is cool. It's cool. It's cool. But as far as long speed, he don't got it. But that route running to be a saving grace. My next one. Oh, I had to dig deep on this one, yo. Shanti, Alicia Keys. Who's more beautiful? Hard choice. Oh, 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 oh. Let me get them without makeup though. Show me with them without makeup, and then I'll really be able to. It might be. That's a good question, man. Let me get back to you on that all the way. Let me get, you know what I mean? That might be more a preference, though, man. Let me get back to you on that one, man. What's going on, Willow? What's going on, Willow? Man, let's go ahead, man. Give a round of applause, man, for Holloway, man, for go ahead and have us thinking about, you know what I mean, something nice and beautiful, man, instead of these big burly men, man. You know what I'm saying? Offensive line, huh? They next. I already started on my tie ends. They gonna be quick. I'm gonna be quick with them. So yeah, they next. Offensive line. Alicia. That ain't even no question, man. But the next one is Keyshawn Butte. You know what I'm saying? 6'5". I don't know. They said he was 205, and then I seen 185. So I'm not too sure, man. So I'll put both. I'm not too sure. But LSU. Now, I had to when before I watched him, people said that you gotta really, really dig deep. And I did. I had to dig deep, y'all. I did. I try to look as deep as that I can possibly go. I really did. Right? One game gave me like, oh, okay, I see it. The next game, like, you playing. That's the type of vibes that I got from Keyshawn, man. That's the type of vibes that I got from Keyshawn Butte, man. And if I really had to tell you, I believe that he underperformed, not only from expectations, but talent level, yo. I believe he underperformed. I believe he could have did so much better than what he did. So much better. But he got it, though. Right? As you can see, I gave him a whole page when I was breaking them down. You know, when I give you a whole page, man, it's something with you, right? So, from what I heard and from evaluating his mannerisms on the field, I came to this conclusion. He just needed to be in a good situation with some structure. And I don't believe that LSU gave him that structure, right? LSU was up and down, changing coaching. Coaching, and it seemed like they was trying to kiss his, his backside a lot. And it seemed like he was pushing lines and they kind of submitted to him a little bit because they didn't want to lose him. They didn't want him to be checked out. And I don't like that, right? You a college team, man. You out here, you out here submitting to the players, man. I don't like that, man. I don't like that. Not in the college. Wide receiver class is bad. I can give you that because I wouldn't say bad, but I'll say that you got a whole lot of supporting cast wide receivers in this draft class, right? I get what you're saying as far as star power, but there's a lot of number 2 wide receivers in this one, right? Not a number 2 wide receivers. And the only true and the cool thing about it is when I was talking about the TCU wide receiver and Addison, they would have to try to develop into that, right? Because I'm not too sure that Quentin Johnston would be a true number 1. I'm not too sure. It just seemed like he's just a good player, right? And, like I said, I don't have him as my number 1. I got Addison. And the only reason why Addison ain't talked about in that light is because of his frame. But I'm like, if Tyreek Hill can be a number 1 wide receiver, then why the hell Jordan Addison can't? Yeah, I mean, yeah, I feel y'all on that because I don't even got Quentin Johnston as my number one. So I feel you on that. It's just a whole bunch of good wide receivers. It's a whole bunch of good wide receivers. And with Jordan Addison, that's why I said like Jordan Addison, since we pretty much got a second round pick, I would roll with that. If Bijan there ain't there, or Gibbs ain't there, or a star, you know what I mean? Maybe a star linebacker ain't there, or maybe even a star corner, I would go with Addison. I would. Or if you can, maybe trade down a little bit. See if you can get him at like 30 or something. I don't know. But I don't think that he'll last that long. Because at least from going off of what I'm already evaluating so far, I don't think this going to really be truly deep as far as people having a true number one grade on them. I think this year you're going to have some ballers though, but a lot of this year's draft class from what it's just, you got starters, you got starter quality, and you're going to have good depth pieces. You're going to have good complementary pieces, right? And a lot of these wide receivers that we're going to talk about today is at maximum, they're going to be a number 2 wide receiver. They're going to be a number 2, right? Oh, we just talked about him. Hoodlum. Yeah, we just talked about him. I'm not high on him as far as like him being like what I mean by not high on him, I just mean by like people saying that he was the number 1 wide receiver as far as talent wise. I didn't get that. I said no, and I don't even think, and I said I don't even know if I really had him in my top 5. I had to go back and look, but I like him though as far as route running. I don't like him as far as long speed. But I think that if he was to go, just to give you some clarification, I think if he went on ahead and was in a situation where kind of like the Garrett Wilson and the Chris Olave situation, I think that he'll thrive, right? Like the Bengals situation with Higgins and Chase, right? With his route running up the middle, he would thrive and he'll do real good. And I wouldn't be surprised if he even had 1,000, right? You know what I mean? Because like I said, when you can run good routes, that's your saving grace. But yeah, man, he got good route. He got good quickness, right? And now we're back on Kayshon Boutte. He got good rack ability, right? He wins quick inside. You can move him inside and out. I've seen that he could play in the slot. I've seen that he could play on the outside. I believe Hoodlum just said that as well. But sometimes it plays like he bored, though. Like it's just too easy for him. He plays like he's bored. Like he's hot and cold. I've seen some concentration drops on his end. He got good speed. He can push it vertical. One thing that I think that he needs to work on is fine-tuning his catch radius and release, right? Right. I don't think he has a big catch radius, right? I don't think he does. And what I've seen is that he needs to get better at making contested catches, right? I believe he had an ankle injury this year, if I'm not mistaken. And I've seen that a lot of the times he butted heads with Kelly at LSU. That's not good. And I'm gonna tell you why. As much as the player is good, and he probably would be a good fit as far as play wise, I'm gonna tell you why he'll be a bad fit. Because let me tell you something. If Dak Prescott can't even handle Dez Bryant, if Dak Prescott can't even handle Amari Cooper, he definitely ain't gonna be able to handle Kayshon Boutte once he get comfortable in the scheme and once he go ahead and establish himself. Kayshon Boutte, Dak Prescott will mess around and try to run him out because he got a personality that Dak Prescott cannot handle. Dak Prescott needs somebody with a demeanor like Michael Gallup and CeeDee Lamb. Let's be honest with you. And when you got an outspoken wide receiver, man, that's going to tell you, hey, you suck. Hey, you the Black Kirk Cousins. And I know Kayshon Boutte will do just that. I'll see them. Hey, I can look. Hey, a picture tell you 1,000 words, homie. And when I looked at Kayshon, oh yeah, Dak can't handle him. Yeah, we'd be better off, man. As much as I like him, man, I don't think that he'll fit with Dak, man. I don't think he can fit with that. I don't think he can handle it, man. I don't think he can handle it. But a good player just need to be more consistent, you know. And I mean, I don't know this. See, I'm not gonna speak on it as far as what happened at LSU because I'm not too hip to what really happened. So I'm not gonna speak on it like, like he just had these problems as far as with authority and everything, But that's what I'm hearing. I'm hearing I'm reading articles. When I looked at, I'm reading articles that they was babying him, and I'm pretty sure that probably go ahead, and put a divide between the team. Like you out here getting real babying treatment, like what's going on with this? So and that's not good, So I don't know, man. Would I like the wide receiver? Yes, I would like Keyshawn Butte, but would it be good maybe for scheme fit with Mike McCarthy? Yes. Would it be good for Dak Prescott fit? Nah, nah, he ain't gonna be able to handle him, man. He ain't gonna be able to handle Keyshawn, man. Speaking of Josh Downs, Hoodlum, he my next one. Josh Downs, 5'10", 175 from North Carolina. Now, we talk about the Cole Beasley type of wide receiver, and he will fit just that. I like Josh Downs, right? Definitely, Josh Downs will be somebody that I will want in the third or fourth round, right? And he's not much of a blocker, right? And that has to do, it may not be as hard. That just has something to do with his frame, right? He's just not much of a blocker. But you know what? Maybe it is hard because I done seen smaller wide receivers get the job done. I done seen Deuce Vaughn at running back. Now, you know what? I'll take that back. It could be hard. Let's be real. Because small frame ain't an excuse no more, right? If you got a big heart, man, you can go ahead and chop you down a giant, man, if you got a big heart, man. So yeah, man. Let's be real. Get better as a blocker, Josh Downs. But he's a strictly slot wide receiver. He's not like Keyshawn Butte where he can play inside and out, right? His quarterback was trash, right? His quarterback, the season that Josh Downs had, he could have had a bigger season if he would just look Josh Downs' way. So yeah, so his quarterback was trash, right? And I didn't watch the North Carolina games this year. And I looked, I was like, man, look at his quarterback. I was like, his quarterback, I see Josh Downs and mess around, he'll route. There was a couple times when Josh Downs had messed around and gave somebody the business, man, and ran an out route, and he was wide open. Didn't even look his way. I'm like, dang, man. That's a cold game. It's a cold game, man. But like I said, he got good short area quickness. I like that about him. I like how he gets open, right? He wins quick on short routes, and I always say that that's crucial, and that's what Dak Prescott needs. He's a good route runner, and somebody as Josh Downs, I would love to work him in the short to intermediate routes. And I've seen that, he can go deep, right? Is this a wide receiver that Dak could use and would need? Yeah. Josh Downs could be a very productive slot wide receiver in the NFL, right? If somebody like Hunter Renfrow can go ahead and have success that he's doing, then Josh Downs can definitely have the success in a slot, right? We were just talking about the route. He's vicious on them out routes. He's cold when it come down to them out routes, man. Good hands, right? He may struggle. He gonna struggle with a little physicality, right? If he can't win clean because of size, he gonna struggle, right? One thing that I seen, he threw a touchdown and he returned punts. Added versatility, man. Right? Like I said, to talk about the Cole Beasley, man. That's the type of wide receiver that Dak needs and what can go ahead and maybe thrive, right? He shows some run after the catch ability. He got good sudden stop quickness, man. And that's also nice, man, for somebody that you would want to go ahead and win quick, right? I even see, even with his small and a slight frame, that he attacked the football at his highest point. So that's also good, man. And when you go ahead and give that man an open release, it's going to be hard to deal with. He's going to be hard to deal with. If you do not touch that man, you probably could consider yourself beat. But you're going to have wide receivers, cornerbacks, I mean, that's probably going to touch them up. E.J. Jenkins, South Carolina hybrid, going to lose. Schultz, Wesco, Art, move CD all around. Compare with Ferguson, play Turpin more. E.J. Jenkins, I'm going to write that down. Let me write that down. I'm going to check him out. I'm going to check EJ out. My next one, the same type of wide receiver, but I think he's better. Zay Flowers, Boston College, 5'10", 172. And I'm going to tell you why he's better than Josh Downs. Even though Josh Downs is a good wide receiver, don't take that as any slight against Josh Downs, because Josh Downs is a good wide receiver and he can be productive, right? And he will be productive and he will fit with this thing. But Zay Flowers is just better, right? Zay Flowers, even though he's 5'10", 172, he's a 3-level wide receiver, right? He has a slot wide receiver build, so probably he'll be strictly slot, right? I've seen Zay Flowers make a lot of contested catches, and for 5'10", 172, man, that's pretty solid, man, for you to go ahead and make the contested catches that you do. He's quick and explosive, right? He's got a little bit more explosion than he does with Josh Downs, right? Good rec ability, and he has that factor of being a playmaker, right? He made a lot of plays for Boston College, man. So he got that playmaker stripe on him, man. You know, even though he got the small frame, right? He's a slot receiver, but can do a lot more than just being strictly a slot receiver, right? You can hand him off the ball on the end around, right? I even remember we was talking about the blocking. I even see him at 5'2", 172 show effort in his blocking, right? He just got more athleticism than Josh Downs, right? But my thing, I had a question with, just like I had with Josh Downs, was can he handle physicality from a corner who's going to be in his grill, right? They said that he had a drop issue at Boston College. I'm not too sure because I didn't see it, right? So maybe that might be in the previous year. So I'm not too sure about that. But I also put in my notes, is he a Dak wide receiver? And Zay Flowers is absolutely a Dak Prescott type of wide receiver, man. So I like Zay. My next one is the Tennessee wide receiver, Jalen Hyatt, 6', 185. Now I went back. The first game that I watched was that Alabama game, man, where he torched him. Although he had a very good game, a great game statistically, there were some things that I wanted to point out with y'all, right? Because Jalen Hyatt, right? Interesting. Because I seen a lot of the times, man, and I watched probably about about 5 games, I believe. And what I seen of Jalen Hyatt was he was scoring a lot of coverage busts. And a lot of the times he got schemed open. Now, I'm not saying that that's a bad thing, right? He torched Alabama. I seen Alabama. He was getting schemed open. There was some coverage bust, or maybe about a good 2 touchdowns, I believe he had against Alabama. When it comes to long speed, he got that. But when it comes to him being a twitchy wide receiver and running them short and intermediate routes, he don't got that. Not right now. He don't got that. And I don't think he'll ever be that. He's more the wide receiver that kind of like Devin Smith? Kind of like he got to build up his speed. And once he build it up, He gone. But when he got to go ahead and work them underneath routes, don't really got it. I'll be real. He don't really got it. And I also seen that he wasn't breaking tackles or making people miss when it comes, especially in them short to intermediate range, right? Every time I see him get the ball underneath, he would just get tackled. He ain't make nobody miss, right? He, play strength might not be there, right? I'm not high on him, right? I'm not gonna lie. And then my question was, is he a product of the offense, right? I also had a question: is he always open because of scheme, right? Separation up top, I don't think that'll be a problem. But can he get separation? Because he had a limited route running, a route tree, and I had put running ability. I also put limited running ability. I ain't gonna lie, I did put that. I said, can he get separation in the NFL morally underneath? I don't know if he can, y'all. I'll be honest with you. I don't know. He definitely needs a lot of work underneath, but he's just not one of them guys that's really twitchy like that. That really just, you know what I mean? Because I've seen people with less athleticism than him have that, you know what I mean, be able to get open underneath. He don't have that for me, right? I honestly believe that he's like a number 4 wide receiver right now. I didn't, not saying that wide receivers can't develop into something, but long term, I don't really see it. I'll be honest with you, I don't really see it. Who's that? Eastside Hero? You talking about Bryce Young? Can you see? Man, I see somebody, man, with a loser team, man. Boy, I know it's tough to be a Texan fan, man. I don't know how you do it, man. You got heart. Because I don't know how you do it, man. You better man than me, man. I'm loyal, man, but Texas loyal. You something else, man. You built different. But yeah, man. Cause that Alabama game, yo, I know people go off the Alabama game, but that Alabama game can fool you. It really can, because I was suspecting him to just be, oh, okay, he about to toast it. Oh, he giving up. I'm like, I'm like, I'm not high on. Out of all the wide receivers that we talked about, Hyatt is very low for me on my list. Very low. Very low. Very low. Now, I remember Hoodlum was talking about this. So I try to do as much as I could on the next one that we talking about. Rashee Rice. 6'2", 203, SMU. Hoodlum, I like Rashee Rice, man. I like Rashee Rice, man. I do. I really do, man. I do. Good athleticism for his size, man. He really could move. I like that, right? And one thing that they was doing, right? Not only does he move fluid with his size, but he was, when it come down to them back shoulder throws, man, hey, the money with him. And the cool thing about it is, right, Cincinnati, the previous year when they had Sauce Gardner and Kobe Bryant, he had a nice back shoulder catch against Kobe Bryant, man. Nice back shoulder catch, man. Nice one, man. He made a lot of contested catches in general, right? Got beautiful play strength, man. Breaks a lot of tackles, man. Good ball skills. Route tree was limited, but it ain't because he can't do it, because it's very coachable. And I think, and I'm going to be honest with you, Rashee, man. Well, let me go ahead and finish my report. I want to talk a little bit about Rashee real quick, right? Rashee is a strong blocker. He's a confident dude, right? Confident about his play. Let me see what else I say. His body control is A1. Good. You throw him the jump ball, he gonna go get it. Now let's talk about it real quick. Rashee, I'm gonna be honest with you. Rashee Rice, when it's all said and done, he honestly really could develop to be the best wide receiver in his class. Like he has the physical tools, the mental to go ahead and be one of the best wide receivers, to be especially the complete, right? He has number one wide receiver potential, right? Because a lot of these wide receivers is just off of potential. There ain't no clear cut. See, when CeeDee Lamb come in, you knew CeeDee Lamb was just a number one wide receiver, right? When Amari Cooper and Chad Johnston, Terrell Owens, Julio Jones, you just know that them wide receivers is number one. You didn't have to say number one wide receiver potential. You just knew that they were number one. Rashee Rice, if I had to tell you, if I had the most confidence in right now of somebody who can be a number one wide receiver, it'll be Rashee Rice, right? Rashee Rice is a complete wide receiver. The only thing really on him is just the lack of route tree, being in SMU, right? But with Rashee Rice, man, not only do you get a physical blocker, a physical wide receiver, a wide receiver that can move, a wide receiver that's going to high point the football, a wide receiver who got that dog in him that's going to make plays. But can you really ask for anything else but the wide receiver? See, whoever gets him and develops him, you got it. You probably got something. But if you get him and you fumble the bag, he's just going to be mediocre. He's just going to be somebody that the little engine and wished he could. But if you get him under some real coaching and really coach that route running, Rashee Rice gonna be vicious. I like Rashee Rice, man. I really do. Man. Good size, good movement. What I want from my number one wide receiver, Rashee Rice possesses, right? Now, will he be it's just a matter of will he live up to it and will he get it done? But I like how he had made a play, man. I forgot what game it was, but he was like, man, you little baby, man. He lightweight, man. I like that. I like, man, when you talk that junk, man, when you talk mess, I love a mess talking dude that's going to back it up. I really love that. You know what I mean? And Rashee Rice, hey, he was talking he was talking a little bit, man. So I like Rashee Rice, man, when it comes down to that, man. So I say, man, potential-wise, Rashee Rice, probably out of all the wide receivers that I watched, he probably has the highest ceiling. Because when you look at them physical characteristics and the mental makeup, because I can tell about your mental makeup, man, the way that you play football. And the way he plays, he got it. He just got to go ahead and form it. I like Rashee Rice, man. He might be something, man. That's somebody that I'm going to keep an eye on. And if Dallas went on ahead and pulled something on Rashee, third, fourth round, I don't think he'll last for a round, man. I think they're going to see them physical characteristics. He might be somebody that keep rising in the draft, man. You might got to get him in a second. I believe that he's going to rise. You let him get a good combine day. You let him get a good pro day, right? Because he was already at the Senior Bowl. You let him keep rising. Man. There's something about homie, man. I like him, for sure. The next one we did was Marvin Mims. Oklahoma, 5'11", 184. Marvin Mims is a number 3 wide receiver at best. I'll be honest with you. He's a number. Where is that loser? Teflon. Oh, you can't be talking about my boy Teflon like that, Eastside. Boy, it's a cowboy thing, Eastside. I got to draw the line there. You can't be talking about my guy Teflon like that, homie. We draw the line right there, man. We family up over here, man. We're going to allow you to breathe, man, but you can't be breathing on my guys like that, man. You're going to, you know what I mean? There's gonna have to be some discipline action going on here soon, man. You can't be talking about my guys like that, man. Yeah, man. I understand that you frustrated with them Texans, though, man. But man, you want to leave that. Hey, season over, man. You know how y'all do. You know how y'all go ahead and have them high expectations, man. You know how y'all be singing, I've been working on the railroad. You know what I mean? And then all of a sudden, man, Davis Mills is your quarterback. You know, but anyway, man, let's go ahead and get back to Marvin Mims, man. Marvin Mims had some drops, but made some spectacular catches, man. One play that sticks out this year was that beautiful catch that he made against Texas Tech, man, where he kind of had that thing pinned. I'm like, oh. See, Marvin Mims, it hurt him that Lincoln Ryan. See, you would thought that, maybe being under, Levy, it'll be good for him. But then the whole turnaround kind of hurt him. I think if he went to USC, followed Lincoln Ryan at USC, it might have been a little bit better for him. You might have been talking about him a little higher. But nonetheless, he's a number 3 wide receiver at best. Let's be honest. But he's a good wide receiver, though. He didn't have the year that he was supposed to have, right? See, when you look at Marvin Mims, you get he returned punts, a willing blocker. That's good. And a lot of the plays that he made them vertically. That's good, right? Right after the catchability, right? Like I said, he has experience on the outside, but I mean, you could probably play him in both. You could probably treat him like a Keyshawn Butte. Not saying he Keyshawn, but kind of, maybe flip him outside once a little bit, inside a little bit, right? But you might be able to get the most out of him inside, though, right? See, one thing Marvin Mims does is he competes, right? And when you have that competitive nature and that competitive spirit, that's going to take you far, right? Especially when how the NFL is, which is very soft. When you have that competitive nature, that's going to take you far. And he has just that, right? Finds a lot of holes in the zone, right? I believe he's a productive wide receiver, man, but that's probably all he'll be in the NFL, just a good, productive wide receiver, right? My questions, again, was can he fight through press? Because he had a lot of open releases in Oklahoma, route tree. I'm not really concerned about his route tree, just by him being with Lincoln Riley, then changing to Levy, right? He one of the wide receivers that, even though you might didn't see the total package as far as route running, it won't be a problem him adjusting to be able to run good routes at the next level, right? But he don't have that long wingspan, though. He's a little short, so short with the wingspan. So that'll probably be a knock against him, though, right? The thing about it is sometimes, man, when I seen somebody get hands on him, they kind of rerouted him a little bit. So he will have to go ahead and fight through that, right? But overall, you can get productivity out of him, right? You can get productivity and you can get a good solid wide receiver, right? Because that's just pretty much, to be honest with you, that's pretty much what this wide receiving core is about. Just you're gonna get a whole lot of productive wide receivers, man. Just somebody you're gonna get a lot of 2s and 3s and some 4s, right? And some Noah Browns, right? That's what you're gonna get. That's exactly what you're gonna get, man. All right, I remember we was talking about it. The last one, Charlie Jones, was the last one that I did. Charlie Jones from Purdue, 6 foot, 188. Charlie Jones was interesting. I didn't see too much athleticism for Charlie, right? As far as, athletic ability. But Charlie Jones was a reliable pass catcher. And he's a gritty type of wide receiver. And that'll probably serve him some justice at the next level, right? Not, like I said, not very explosive. He's always finding holes in his zones, right? When I put that, I don't say that lightly, right? And when I mean somebody really find holes, you got to really you got to really find some holes, right? Because we know that Jalen Hyatt don't find holes in the zone. That's why I didn't say it, right? But so when you get a wide receiver that can do that, that's beautiful in itself, right? Scramble drill, Charlie Jones is going to make sure that, hey, if your quarterback is in duress, he going to go ahead and make himself available. I seen him return some punts. I put that he was an average athlete, though, right? Now, with Charlie, he made some catches downfield, right? There were some catches downfield, though, that required a little bit of athleticism to make. Maybe if he was a little bit faster, maybe if he dived a little bit longer, that he would have made them plays. But because of him being limited athletically, he wasn't able to make the play. It wasn't because he didn't have hands, because Charlie Jones has good, strong hands. That's not the problem. His problem was just downfield, just that he just was limited, right? So he's going to have to get open in the next level with not only route running, but being crafty with his route running, right? He got good play strength and good, strong hands, right? I believe that Charlie will be productive at the next level, but I'm not running deep with Charlie. I'm going to go ahead and allow Charlie to work that short and intermediate routes, right? I'm going to run, slants, ins, outs, comebacks with Charlie. And I believe that, with the grittiness and the craftiness that he'll be able to go ahead and continue to improve and work on, I believe that that'll be his natch. And all of a sudden, man, you'll just start seeing it'll kind of be like the Colts wide receiver, man. What's his name, man? It's not Pierce. Y'all know what I'm talking about, man. Damn. He was a rookie, though. Can't think of his name. But something like that. Just something that just productive. Oh, Brian Fetterman. But I don't think that he's a consistent third level wide receiver. I just think that, he'll be able to go ahead and probably would route, because he definitely going to have to work on his release, right? And that's going to come with good coaching and time and effort, and learning the pro game. So, but he definitely have to work on his release, especially with him being limited athletically the way that he is, right? Because he's not a burner. Charlie's no burner, right? But a productive wide receiver, I can see that. If the Dallas Cowboys was to mess around and get him 5th, 6th round, I'd be okay with that, right? Because you know what I mean? Because that's what you need, right? If you got good, reliable pass catchers with good hands, with sticky hands, that got good play strength, right? That be able to go ahead. Because there was times, man, that he couldn't run by him athletically. But he would, and they was in his grill, and they contested the catch to the max. But his hands were strong, and he was able to fight through it and make the catch. It might have been like a good 3-yard gain, but it was a 3-yard gain that he had to fight for. And I believe that that's his identity, being gritty, crafty, right, and fighting, right. And that's going to go ahead and get him on the field, right. Not his athleticism, his last, because he ain't gonna run by nobody. Right? He ain't going to go ahead and chop nobody up. But one thing that if he can continue to use his grittiness, I believe he'll be productive. I was trying to look at Trey Palmer, but I couldn't really find. I'm going to continue to look for Trey Palmer, though, Nebraska, though. But I don't have one for him yet. But I'll go back. Cowboys need mixed match players, either super fast or bigger. EJ Jenkins. It's crazy. It's crazy that you say that. Because I started because I was thinking about a little something, man. Because the first tight end I watched, of course, was Michael Meyer. But we'll talk about that when we talk about the tight ends. Because that should be brief, man. There's not really too many tight ends, man. But I'm thinking, I'm like, especially looking at somebody like him, because it ain't all about. I agree with you, front office. I really do. I agree with you on that one. And I'm gonna tell you why. I'm gonna tell you why I agree with you on that. Because somebody, especially like Michael Meyer, he may not be no burner, but using the physicality, the size that he has, man, and the soft hands and being a mismatch and being able to go get it, that'll help, right? Having a big wide receiver, having a fast wide receiver, having wide receivers that can win quick. And then CD and Gallup, whether it be tight end or wide receiver, that'll go good with Dak Prescott. That'll be what the doctor ordered right there with Dak Prescott. It really would. It really would. Right? And you are absolutely correct. I couldn't agree with that more. You need, let's go ahead and give my guy a round of applause, man. Because you are absolutely correct. Because, he just needs somebody that can do it all. Right? It's kind of like, because you know what you're getting with Ferguson. You're gonna get a good tight end with Ferguson, right? How good he's gonna be is yet to be determined. But at minimum, you're gonna get a very good tight end that can block, right? That's what's gonna bring on the team. But getting the same type of wide receivers, it's not gonna do us no good. Even though Tolbert's skill level doesn't match CD or Gallup, they're the same type of wide receiver. So we're getting a whole bunch of the same type of wide receiver. And then when you get somebody different, like Turpin, do you use them? No, you don't use him. He's small, but he's fast. And how many years that we've been talking about the Dallas Cowboys, man, needs a burner? We'll go ahead and get lucky and get a Cole Beasley and then go get an Amari. Get somebody with some good short area quickness. But when the last time that we could truly say that we had a burner and use that burner to its full capability? They'll mess around and give somebody like Dwayne Harris more PT than they would a real burner. You had Tavon Austin, but used him lightly. You had Lucky Whitehead, but used him lightly. You had Kevontae Turpin, but used him lightly. You had Tony Pollard, but used him lightly. This doesn't make any sense. This doesn't make any sense. We've had wide receivers that can do different things, but we never used them because we get the same type of wide receiver. Bro, we need something different. We got pretty much the same type of wide receiver, right? CD and Gallup, although there's some differences. They're the same type of wide. They're a possession wide receiver. They're run after the catch. CD running, they got a little similarities, differences. Like, CD better at the run at the catch, right? Right? But they're the same type of wide receiver. What difference are we going to have, though? At that third wide receivers, we're going to have somebody that's going to get open quick. At that fourth wide receivers, you're going to have a burner. Fifth wide receivers, you're just going to have somebody that's 6'6", 6'7", or something. As we're going to bring a tight end that can run a 4.4, 4.5. As we're going to bring in another tight end that can be 6'6", 6'7", and be a go-getter, be a Rico Gathers, be a Martellus Bennett. If you can go ahead and get that versatility with your weapons, that's how you're going to make sure that Dak Prescott succeeds And I don't care if it's West Coast, East Coast, Midwest, down south. I don't care what offense you run. You're going to need wide receivers that can do. Look, we can look at it. We can go back. Was Greg Jennings the same wide receiver as Jordy Nelson? No. Was he the same wide receiver as Randall Cobb? No. Was he the same wide receiver as James Jones? No. Let's look at the tight end, Jermichael Finley. He was very different than a lot of their wide receivers. Somebody that was a mismatched nightmare. See, people don't be remembering Jermichael Finley, man, but I always remember him. Andrew Corliss. They even had different running backs with the Green Bay Packers, man. So they could talk about, we run a slam, man. We got 2 wide receivers. And if they keep Tolbert, you have 3 wide receivers that should be able to be money. I'm not saying Tolbert money, because I ain't gonna lie, I gave up on Tolbert already, y'all. I'll be honest with you, I gave up on him. Right? I know I ain't supposed to, but he got to really show me something in camp for me to be like, to really factor him into the wide receiver. Because I'll be honest with you, I don't consider Tolbert a wide receiver I'm counting on this year. But regardless of skill level, them 3 big body wide receivers that can go ahead and execute on slant routes. But they're the same type of wide receiver, though. Now, just think if you're going to go ahead and go get it down, Zay Flowers, Addison, or even go throw in a deep threat like Quentin Johnston. Maybe go get a Charlie Jones as your 5th wide receiver. Do you imagine on how different this offense will really look? Because how much can you really do when you have a whole wide receiver core that does the same thing? I got all these wide receivers, and all I know is that all of them are possession wide receivers. We know CeeDee Lamb ain't no 4-3 wide receiver, even though he's an excellent number 1 wide receiver, non-debatable. But you got a whole bunch of 4-4s and 4-5s on your team. Where the 4-3s at? Where the 4-2s at? Because we can't even count Turpin because they don't use Turpin. So it's like we out here got all these wide receivers on our team, but they non-existent because they don't use them. Now, Jordy Nelson was a threat that you had to worry about deep. So they could talk about how Mike McCarthy, the change in offense, though, but hey, Jordy Nelson will go ahead and take you deep. Jordy Nelson made a whole bunch of splash plays. Now, what was wide receiver that you got on your roster right now that you could say can make a lot of smash plays with speed? Who's your Randall Cobb that can throw the ball in the backfield, that can take you end rounds, and that can win quick as Randall Cobb? He ran quick. You had to worry about Randall Cobb. James Jones, he wasn't no burner. James Jones probably ran like a 5.5 40. But James Jones was always open and always open underneath. And always use his route running ability to get open. That's why I say if you can run good route, that's why I'm not down on Jackson. And who knows? Maybe Jackson Smith may be a James Jones. Who knows? I'm not putting that out there. But I'm not high on him as being the number 1 wide receiver because I don't see that. I don't see that at all from him. But he may end up being a James Jones. Who knows? And I always said that, hey, if you surround them, right, that's what they did with the Green Bay Packers. Jordy, Jennings, Cobb, and others, they went on ahead and surrounded where James Jones was your 4th wide receiver. And all of a sudden you look up in the playoffs and James Jones making a clutch catch. James Jones making a clutch touchdown, right? So a 4th wide receiver, especially in this offense, will be key, right? And quite frankly, in the NFL, you need 4 of them, right? Especially if you call yourself in a passing league. The Chiefs had 4 of them, right? Tony, Valdez, Sky, Juju, right? We may not be talking about as number one wide receiver, but what did they all do? Something different. On top of that, with Kelsey, they had different options. That's what you need. What you think about Fehoko? Donald Driver. Fehoko, man. Fehoko will be dead. You know what? Y'all might get on me for this one though, man. But I'm gonna go ahead and say it, man. You know I'm controversial. Fehoko. Quentin Johnston? Hey, man. Hey, Quentin Johnston? Fehoko, big. Fehoko, fast. Fehoko was underdeveloped. You haven't seen the best from Fehoko. They want to turn him to a tight end. In a different offense, who's to say? Fajoko's definitely a different type of wide receiver, and we knew that he needed a couple years to develop. So this should probably be the year for Fehoko. To be honest with you, he slipped my mind. But to be honest with you, I haven't gave up on him mentally. I just think, man, you just got to be patient with him. Tolbert, I'll be honest with you, I'm not patient with Tolbert. I'm just not, bro. It's just something about, bro, when I watched him, it's just something about him, man, that just didn't scream out to me, man. I said, man, Terrence Williams at best. At best. People say, oh, he's good. No, he's good. Man, I didn't get that vibe from him. And what do you know? That man only had, one catch this season? Jerry said that we was relying on Gallup and Tolbert to come. So they must have been, so they was high on Tolbert as he was going to be a productive, at least a 3 wide receiver in his system. And they folded. You relied on Gallup and Tolbert to take over for Amari, and you didn't really get anything from either one of them. And to be honest with you, I don't want to hear about the rookie thing because, man, Tolbert had the whole year. Even Sky Moore came up in here and started producing, man. And I was bigger on Sky Moore. I liked this Sky Moore. I did. I really did. I believe I talked about that. I liked this Sky Moore. I did. I liked him. Sky Moore in this offense would have did a whole bunch more than what Tolbert would have done. I can promise you that. I wasn't too big on him, man. I wasn't, man. Let's hope I'm wrong. Let's hope that this man that messed around and can become that guy. Can become a productive wide receiver in his offense. I would love to be wrong. I don't think I'm going to be wrong, man. I honestly don't think I will. I just don't like him, man. And I'm not the type of dude that just because somebody didn't had a good 1 year that he all of a sudden going to be that guy. We had 1 year. Peyton Hillis had 1 year. Where he at? Others had 1 year. Where they at? 1 year don't make you. LeRod Robertson had some. Tony Romo made him. What happened when he left? Right? So, scheme makes a difference. What you can do and how your coaches can bring it out of you makes a difference, of course. But I want to hear and I want to know, because I haven't heard it yet. Why didn't Tolbert play? Because it can't be playbook. Are we admitting that he just wasn't that guy? I don't know. Because I would love to hear why he didn't get that much. I don't know. Man, I ain't gonna put this on that man, Michael Gallup, but I ain't gonna lie, man. When they said Michael Gallup got a knee, I ain't gonna lie. I thought it was some cat being, you know, I thought it was a little cat. You know, maybe if he did, it was very later than what they thought it was. But I think they was just trying to, like I said, I think they was trying to say Gallup for getting crucified by content creators like myself because I was gonna be on him the whole year. But I kind of got to back off from him because got the knee, you know. But if anything, Jerry Jones gonna have to get it. Has that college stride, needs to get that NFL stride and lose 10 pounds. Interesting observation, front office. Interesting. Yeah, he definitely gonna have to play at that NFL pace. Most definitely. I agree with you on there, man. I agree with you. You know, I still see the topic of discussion, right? Let's get a little quick little content before we get up out of here. Before we get a little quick little Dallas Cowboy talk, man. Zeke, I still been seeing that's the topic of discussion. I keep seeing that this is still a debate about Zeke. I'm gonna tell y'all something, man. It's no debate. Now look, if it works out money wise, look, it's gonna have to be one or the other, y'all. Zeke or TP. They're gonna have that's what it's gonna have to come down to, right? They can't have both back, y'all. They can't. There's no reason to be able to put that money into two running backs like that. Bro, Jerry Jones would be tripping if he did that. So they have to pick, man. You want Zeke back or you want TP? Right? Now, if Zeke take a nice pay cut, I can bring in. It don't matter who I can bring in another one. It just don't matter, you know. Like I said, it ain't like Zeke didn't have a. See, I'm not saying that Zeke was a bum this year, because y'all know me. I've been on the side. See, that's why I can say what I say, because I've been on the side of Ezekiel Elliott. I've been talking about how Ezekiel Elliott can still run that football. I've been saying that. But I'm also a realist, and I also want to win. And I also see that what he's getting paid doesn't fit to what he brings to the team. Not saying that he can't bring nothing to the team, but it doesn't fit for what he brings to the team. So therefore, he will have to take a pay cut. I would rather see, if you do, they said, so if I'll tell you right now, if I had to pick one, I will pick Zeke over TP. I refuse to pay Tony Pollard $10 million. Unless they're gonna franchise tag him and trade him during the draft or something. Or you know what I mean, or ship him somewhere. I just don't believe in giving Tony Pollard $10 million. There's a whole bunch of good running backs out here, y'all. Now, if you want to keep something familiar, then hey, keep Zeke. Keep Zeke. Let somebody go ahead and get Tony Pollard, man, Ezekiel Elliott type of contract. Let somebody else do that, bro. You see, what's his name? Clyde Edwards, man, from the Chiefs. What he getting, like 7 million a year? So I'm willing to give Zeke, 5, 6, most, right? Because I know that even though he lost a couple steps, that he can protect, he can catch, he's still a power back, and I can go ahead and go bring another running back that can go ahead and give me some juice, and he'd be that veteran presence for a wide receiver a running back that you may bring in the draft if you decide to go that route. So I will be more in bringing Ezekiel Elliott back than Tony Pollard back. Now, me, y'all know me, I'll be like, shoot, you don't bring none of them. But if we're talking money, then let's just not eat that whole Ezekiel Elliott contract, unless you had to with that June 1st cut. But Ezekiel Elliott would be the running back that I would choose to keep over Tony Pollard. As much as I tell y'all, man, that you can go ahead and find your own bruiser, which you can, but it would make more sense to keep to keep Zeke over TP. Oh, yeah. We checked him out last one. Yeah, I like Eric Gray. Yeah, he's a complete running back. He's somebody that can be productive, man. Somebody that you probably have to keep your eye on. He's a good running back. I like Eric, Oklahoma. I want both, but the injury changed things. Plus, easier to replace Pollard. I agree. October. Oh, yeah, we read that. Yeah. So, and the cool thing about it is, right, I was in, who live I was in? I think it was Laws last night. And they was talking about the offensive line, Zeke. Basically saying the offensive line wasn't that. I don't know. I don't know if it was people in the chat or was that because I came in late. I don't or that was something that was brought up by them. But let me tell y'all something. That offensive line played very well. When you're able to go ahead and win games the way that you was winning, knowing you have to run the ball with Cooper Rush as your quarterback, and then you continue to run the ball every single game, and you had two running backs that was almost 1,000 yards apiece. And if Malik Davis would have had the same amount of touches, that he probably would have had 1,000 yards. And somebody tried to tell me that offensive line wasn't doing a Dougie, wasn't balling. What are we watching here? They talking about Biotis. Biotis is a good center. See, we were spoiled with Travis Frederick, but Biotis is a very good center. Zach Martin, I also seen the Zach Martin situation. Talking about, he gonna. Let me tell you something, man. You could almost play till 40 years old at the offensive line. Zach Martin, if you continue to take care of his body, and nothing happens to him tragically, right? As far as on the football field, you can get 3 to 5 years out of Zach Martin. Easy. Especially inside. Like, are they not looking at what Kelsey? See, when you have an elite play the way that you do, even when you lose a step or two, you're still great. That's the same thing with Tyron Smith. Tyron Smith was so great, but even with all the injuries, and he might have lost a little step or two, he still will be one of the best that played all 17. You just have a couple linemen that's just built different. Even Jason Peters, right? Played for so long because his athleticism was so superior than others that even when he lost it still was good enough to get the job done. So you have 3 Hall of Famers on your line. You have 1 future Hall of Famer. Maybe still might be, who knows? You have 3 Pro Bowler type linemen on your team that's starting for you right now, right? Tyler Smith, Zach Martin, still. No. Let me get. No, 4 actually. It all depends what you do at tackle. 4, Biotis is a Pro Bowl center. Zach Martin is a Pro Bowl guard. Still is a Pro Bowler right tackle. And Tyler Smith is a Pro Bowler left guard. And they try to tell me that this offensive line was not sufficient? How so? Do you not see the way that we was getting to the second level consistently? If they say that Zeke Elliott lost 2 steps, which I agree. So how could somebody that's a bulldozer that lost 2 steps still able to get close to 1,000 yards and he missed a couple games? and he was sharing in the backfield. How? Because you're an offensive line. How could you get away with Cooper Rush toward the end of his tenure as being the backup quarterback till Dak came back? How could you get away with him passing the ball the way that he did and still run the ball efficiently? How? The games that you lost, if you would have stick with the running game, you probably would have got it. But they say that this offensive line wasn't good enough. What are we watching, people? What are we watching? Because clearly I've seen not only a good offensive line, but a productive offensive line. And you can tell by the running backs. They producing no matter what. You had a burner. You got a bulldozer. Don't matter. Producing. So I don't know what sometimes these people be watching. But all I know is that the Dallas Cowboys got a good offensive line. And you continue to build up on it, right? I believe Tyron Smith probably be back one more year. I think they were saying Peters is going to be back one more year. And I'm fine with that. I'm fine with having that backup. I'm fine with that tackle depth. It's going to be nice, right? Still, Tyron Smith will probably be there for Steele, and Peters will be back to be a swing. I'm fine with that. I really am. I love it, actually, right? But left tackle, I believe in Willetsko to the utmost, right? But if you can get something better than Willetsko, I'm not against that either, right? If you were to look at it like this, if you find an elite left tackle, then go ahead and throw Smith at guard. If you find an elite guard, then go ahead and throw Tyler Smith at left tackle. That's one of the things of him being a left side player and the versatility that he brings. That whatever you find, you can go ahead and throw him at the opposite. I personally think he's a better guard, and I'm gonna stand on it to the day that I'm gonna stand on it forever. He's a better guard. You put that athleticism that he has at tackle inside that guard. Come on, man. That's what you've seen. That's what be making these guards. Like they got the tackle experience. I bet you Tyron Smith can play guard and be good at it. But that's what I'm with, y'all. So this offensive line is going to continue to grow. I stand on, if I had to pick one, it'd be Zeke. I stand on not franchising Tony Pollard. If for some reason you bring TP back, let it be less than 10 mil. But I'm pretty sure he's not going to take 10 mil because of the rising market of the salary cap. And shoot, this would probably be his only payday. So wouldn't he want the most out of it? And if I'm TP, why would I want to play on a franchise tag? I don't think TP will play on a franchise, especially coming off that. I think it's the fibula injury. I don't think he's going to go ahead and play on that franchise tag because I don't think that'll be smart. You better pull a Le'Veon or something, right? You got other people to pay, man. If anything, if you had to franchise tag somebody for right now, it should be Diggs. If you can't get nothing done with Diggs, it should be Diggs. You hold on to that till you can't hold on to it no more, till you go ahead and work out a deal because Diggs need to be paid. We can talk about the tackling all we want, but Trayvon Diggs needs to get paid. Most definitely. Most definitely he needs to get paid. So, if anything of using a franchise tag, it definitely needs to be Trayvon Diggs. That needs to be the only player that we think about with the franchise tag, y'all. Only player right now. Too many running backs, man. Too many running backs out there. Whether it be draft, free agency, to be worried about the running back position right now. Bro, anybody going to be able to run the ball behind this offensive line. I'm very certain of that. People talk about you need 5. Bro, you don't need no 5 Pro Bowlers on no offensive line to be great. Look at the Tennessee offensive line. I bet you somebody off the top of the dome can't name me all 5 of their linemen. but they offensive linemen bull, but they run block very nice. I bet you on a lot of these teams that have good offensive line, they can't name me the 5 because they looking at names. I'm not looking at names. I'm looking at the production. I'm looking at the scheme. I'm looking at, are we playing the way we need to play? Is what we running fit to this offensive line and what they can do? And Schottenheimer coming in here, I believe that will help the running back position along with the offensive line and being able to run the ball probably even better than what we did last year, to be honest with you. But you go ahead and bring some fresh legs in here and you continue to get healthy on that line. Come on now. Gotta love it. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. Gotta be loving it, y'all. Gots to be loving it. But that's where I'm at with that, man. I see that they said that Dalton Schultz won't be tagged, and I absolutely agree with that. I'm done with Dalton Schultz, man. I appreciate your services, man, but, I've seen people trying to fight for Dalton Schultz. No. The tight end position in the NFL is weak. Where do we getting off paying the tight end? We can go find a tight end. We can go make a tight end, man. You got a tight end, man. You got your number 1 tight end already. Unless you bring somebody in that's just better than him. Then having him with the a better tight end, Ferguson, with a better tight end, man, that'll make your tight end some vicious. But all you truly need is 1, right? Unless you want to go ahead and go ahead and pull to go get Isaiah Likely or something, Oh, he not no thing. Or they gonna have to pay him. He not playing on that contract. They gonna have to pay him. I don't use tags at all, though. I wouldn't use. There was no player on this team. There was no player last year that I would use it on. But there's no player this year that's worth a tag. No player. No player. You need to pay still. Right. I don't think that it'll be a discount price. You probably want to pay him now. You probably want to pay him now before his price goes up. You definitely want to pay him now because if he built up on that year that he had, even with the injury or not, price gonna go up. Somebody want him services, man. So you'd be better off with what he has, his body of work so far in the injury. You better off paying him right now, man. Paying him right now. Oh, yeah. If I would, I would. Injury or not. He gonna come back. He gonna come back strong. He gonna come back strong from that. He gonna come back strong. You got to pay him. And then you can go ahead and, man, mess around and go ahead, man. I'm telling y'all, man, pay still. Tyron Smith taking over at right tackle till he get right. You got Zach, you got Biotis, you got Tyler Schmidt at guard. And, man, go ahead and get you a cheap left tackle with a let's go and get you a couple years out of that and let that contract go down, and then build off of that. And you probably have to pay with let's go. Yeah, you probably gonna have to pay Biotis. You definitely gonna have to pay Tyler Schmidt. You're gonna have to pay that offensive line. You're gonna have to because Zach Martin, he there, but you're gonna have to pay still. You're gonna have to unload the bag. See, and this is why I also think that Tyler Smith is going to guard because of the payment. Because if he playing left tackle, now you got to break the bank for a franchise left tackle. It's a little bit cheaper over there at guard. It's a little cheaper over there at guard. You don't think Jerry thinking about that? You know, he's already a better guard, but it's a little cheaper than paying the guard than it is a franchise left tackle. They might as well just pay him. You know, they was talking about Law. No, you know Law. Law should be here again. Law did not play bad. Law just caught into the hype of getting to the quarterback. Law need to go ahead and put his hand in the ground and get back to how he used to do against that run. Because Law regressed in stopping that run this year. Law need to get back into stopping that run. And how he gonna stop that run? Put that hand in the ground. When you put that hand in the ground, man, you're gonna be all right. Get back to what got you. Get back to the basics sometime, man. See, everybody got caught up in getting to the QB. Bro, when you got Parsons, Law, Sam Williams, and I guess Armstrong, it's good enough. Now you need some dogs inside, right? You need some dogs inside. And if they was to bring somebody in, like a Deron Payne, then I'm pretty sure in the draft we're going to go ahead and probably pick a high wide receiver. You know, we definitely going to spend some draft assets at wide receiver to go ahead and be cheap at that position. You know, and there's going to be some other casualties. But I believe bringing somebody in like Payne would do this team some justice. You're going to get a push in the pass game. You're going to get somebody, man, who, man, they scared of, bro. Let's be honest with you. They scared of Deron Payne. Even we were scared of Deron Payne. I'll be honest with you, man. You know, I look at that film, bro. Even we scared of Deron Payne. You know, you're going to get somebody, man, and then, that work that Biotish and them going to get. At practice? Oh, my God. That's real work right there, man. That's real work. Then you're going to get that. And then you're going to mess around, man, and then not only get superb run defense, not good, not great, superb run defense. And then you can go mess around and probably get you about 6-7 sacks. 11.5 with this team, I don't think he'll get. But we ain't paying for that. We paying for his presence. We paying for what he really do. Right? If I get 5-6 sacks from Deron Payne, I'm cool with that. Right? I'm cool with that. And plus, everybody else is gonna be getting it. If you push that pocket, that's all I need. See, I don't want to hear nobody if they saw him talking about, oh, he ain't get the 10, 11 sacks. Nah, he not being brought in for that. He being brought in for the intangibles and his superb run defense and what his impact will be on his team. We can't be looking at numbers, right? I've been telling people, man, the previous, we can't care about no number. We can't care about DeMarcus Lawrence numbers. Numbers don't mean anything. What about your presence, though? That's why Law was still here. That's why they didn't get rid of him. Presence. And you paying for presence with Payne. The production is going to follow it. See, you already got go-getters. You already got Parsons. You got Law. You got Sam Williams. They're going to be cleaning it up. You need to get a presence inside, man. I love Hankins. And if he wasn't able to go ahead and upgrade it the way that you should upgrade it, then, bring Hankins back, right? Hankins is he's a bad boy in there side, though. But I'm always looking to upgrade. And Deron Payne would be an excellent upgrade. I would thought, man. And the cool thing about it is that's the problem. And we're going to look at these D tackles soon. I can't wait to look at them. I can't wait to look at them D tackles, man. And then I was gonna do a video, but might as well talk about it a little bit now. Hooker from Tennessee and Stroud from Ohio State. I don't really believe too much on the Stroud rumors. But one thing I do take from the Hooker rumors and the Stroud rumors is that a quarterback, Dak, you won't notice, one, and two, a quarterback is really on their radar as far as in this draft, right? The DiNucci experience didn't work out, which is fine. But there's some quarterbacks, man, that we can take in our wing, man, and develop. Would I spend a high draft pick on a quarterback? Absolutely, I would. Absolutely, I would. If you got that quarterback that you know can take over for Dak in the next 2 years, absolutely, I would go ahead and spend that dime. Absolutely. If he got to spend it, if he got to chill for a year, absolutely, I would spend that money or spend that high draft pick. Absolutely. First, second, you name it. I absolutely would. But you one thing for sure. Look what the Green Bay Packers then did, right? Look what they did with Aaron Rodgers. He was chilling before Brett Favre. Now look at Jordan Love. He chilling. Why they ain't get rid of him? Because they believe in his talent. Because if they didn't, he'd have been got rid of. Or somebody gonna go ahead and pay for that talent and bring him in. If you got a quarterback, if Stroud is your guy, if Stroud is just like, dang, man, Stroud for the next 8 to 10 years, CJ Stroud is our guy. Think you go get CJ Stroud. If that Ohio State quarterback is your guy, you go make it happen. Franchise quarterbacks don't grow on trees. Man, Joe Burrows don't grow on trees. Patrick Mahomes don't grow on trees. Where do they pick Patty Mahomes at? Where do they pick Aaron Rodgers at? Where do they pick? Come on, man. They don't grow on trees. If somebody got it, they got it. And you make sure that you go get it. See, we talk about the aggressiveness, man. If you see your franchise quarterback, I know Hooker old, but who knows? All right, I'm gonna look at them quarterbacks too. Stroud, Richardson, whatever. If you see one of them as your guy, man, you go get 8 to 10 years. Man, you worry about everything else because you're not far apart. You go get that. I know he coming off that, because I know he an older quarterback. I believe he's 24, 25, if I'm not mistaken. That don't really concern me too much. That don't concern me too much, y'all, with the age. Right? That don't really concern me too much. Because, with that age, you can get about 6-7 years out of him. 6-7 years out of the quarterback. That's pretty much what after the 6-7 years, we pretty much been done with Dak, right? We pretty much been done with Dak. We didn't expect Dak to do what he did, came in. He came in and played good. All of a sudden, man, Romo like, you know what? You got your guy. Go ahead and roll with Dak. 4th round pick. How do you know that won't happen with Dak Prescott? I'm just saying, man. The Dallas Cowboys, the past couple quarterbacks, have been very lucky. An undrafted free agent and a 4th round pick. We have been very lucky to find, as much as I don't really like Dak Prescott, we're going to have to, I'll admit that he quality. And for you to find quality and for him to be your starter for this long, that says a lot, right? You got what you exceeded the expectations of your 4th round pick. But let's be honest with you, man. What good is the Dallas Cowboys, man, without a franchise quarterback? What good is the Dallas Cowboys unless they got Tony Romo? What good is the Dallas Cowboys unless they got Troy Aikman? What good is the Cowboys, man, unless they got Roger Staubach, man? We know good and well that Dak Prescott don't go on their level, and we know good and well that when you got that star on your helmet, you got to have that guy. So the Dallas Cowboys need to be looking for that guy. Forget all that backup quarterback. That's cool and everything, right? You can go get that. But where that guy at? Whether it be the first, through the seventh, or undrafted, you need to be looking for them intangibles to see if he that guy. And I'm gonna tell you what, it ain't gonna be if he ain't clutch, he ain't that guy. Mahomes was clutch. Joe Burrow, championship, clutch. They clutch. And franchise quarterbacks are clutch. So you need to be going looking for that guy. So if CJ Stroud is that guy, then go get aggressive and go get him. We're going to find out real soon if he's that guy. We're going to find out real soon if he's that guy. Real soon. Yeah, I'm when I watched it, I'm gonna go back and look at it because he was throwing. Yeah, I seen Tennessee some good quarterback. You know, he definitely gave him some juice. Right in. So, I mean, somebody that's been in his predicament, right? He definitely, right, should have the experience up here mentally to be able to go ahead and maybe transition a little bit better than maybe other rookie quarterbacks, right? Even like Max Duggan from the TCU, right? I love his heart, right? I love his grittiness, man. I love the way that he lay his body on the line to make plays, right? He may not be like the other quarterbacks, but your heart, your determination, and can you make the throws, man? And we know he got juice in the run game. And we know that we ain't got to tell Max Duggan to run. He going to run, right? We know he ain't got to tell him that. We know we ain't got to tell him that. We know we ain't got to tell him to run. I shouldn't have to. I ain't got to tell Joe Burrow to run. Patrick Mahomes, bro, why is Patrick Mahomes running on his ankle, on his bum leg, but Dak Prescott can't run, and he got two good limbs? Come on, man. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on, man. I need that guy, bro. I'm sorry, bro. When I look at these quarterbacks, man, and I say, man, he that guy. If Dallas Cowboys, man, can't go get that guy, bro, come on, man. We all know that Dak Prescott ain't our guy. We know that, y'all. We know that. He's a placeholder for whoever Gary come in here, man. We know that. We know that. He's a placeholder. It sucks that you're stuck with a placeholder quarterback that's about to get $50 million. It sucks. It does. We paying a game manager, somebody that needs others to thrive. $50 million. I remember Jerry Jones was talking about, man, I can't remember exactly what he said, but pretty much, man, he was talking about the odds of when you pay a quarterback, the likelihood of you like winning and like winning it all. And the first thing that I seen when Pat Mahomes thought of when Pat Mahomes won it all was that Jerry Jones remark. Jerry Jones, let me tell you something, man, the old way of doing things ain't gonna work. It's not going to work, family. It's not. The old way of doing things is not going to work. Your old mentality is not going to work. This league keeps adjusting. It keeps evolving. And look, man, you're going to have to get with the times, yo. You're going to have to get aggressive, yo. Bro, this team is too good for not to have an aggressive offseason to be all in. Bro, this team is too young to be talking about you going to compromise your future. Bro, if anything, you compromise the future trying to pay Zeke. If anything, you try to compromise the future of paying Dak Prescott 50 mil. If you want to talk about compromising the future, you compromise your future of paying Michael Gallup when you didn't need to pay Michael Gallup. Be real. Be real, Jerry. You paying all these players, man, who really, in all reality, was not deserving of the contracts that they got. You waited. You could have paid Dak Prescott less than what you paid him now. But you did not. You knew that you was going to sign Dak Prescott, bro. Yes, you did. Yes, you did. And now the price went up. So now you could have paid him, what was it, 36 to 38 million? Now you got to pay him 40 with an ongoing up contract. You messed that up. You messed up paying somebody that's coming off a knee injury, what, 12, 13 million? And then you put in all your eggs in a basket and he didn't match up. And it's not even a guarantee that he's going to recover this year. You dropped the ball, Jerry. You dropped the ball. You paid a bruiser running back. Let's just be real. Damn near 20 million. You paid him damn near 20 million on a decline. Why? Because he got what? Jersey sales. They love him. You love him. Dak love him. So you put your feelings into business. You messed that up, Jerry. Yes, you did. But extending Dak, I think a Dak extension will. I think that's more for the money. Probably allocating the money for it could be a smaller cap hit. That's what I believe that the extension would be. I don't think it's more of they believe in him. I just think that it'll probably lessen the blow for us paying him. And Pollard, I absolutely agree with you on Pollard. If we tag Pollard, that'll be a huge mistake. I absolutely agree with you on that. Absolutely. Absolutely. Like Big Jaw say, absolutia. Absolutia. I agree with you on there. So, man, I don't know what Jerry didn't do, but I'm going to tell you like this, man. There's going to be, if Jerry was really all in about what he say he is, and when it come down to winning, there's going to be a whole bunch of people that you don't bring back. And there's going to be a whole bunch of things that you don't normally see that this Cowboys organization does in the past few years. And if they do that, then I know that Jerry Jones really want to win. And if they don't, I'll be the first to tell you, man, Jerry playing. Jerry playing. Because there's certain things that I need to see, that I know how the NFL is operating now. There's certain positions that you don't need to pay. And there's certain positions that you do need to pay. Chris Jones, they talking about Chris Jones. Chris Jones got paid, bro. And Chris Jones is having another, type NFL defensive year type, right? Bro, what Chris Jones is doing is impressive, bro. He's not doing that from the exterior. He's doing that from the interior. Impressive. And that goes to show you D tackle play is everything. And if you get a D tackle that can go ahead and wreak havoc, even go get you a Grady Jarrett or something, man. If you get you a D tackle, man, that can win quick, you in business. You are in business. Look at Jeffrey Simmons. That's a bad boy right there, man. It's a bad boy. Quentin Williams. Look at the way that they impact games, yo. Grady Jarrett. The Washington D tackles. Leonard Williams, Dexter Lawrence. Come on, man. Come on. Are we serious or are we serious? For real or for real. D tackles. You see what the Bengals did, even though he ain't no real, rusher like that. But the Bengals went to go pay Big DJ Reader, though. Chris Jones got paid. Yes, he did. Aaron Donald got paid. Look at the Vikings. The Vikings started bringing Dalvin Thompson. Everybody, no matter whether it be 1 tech or 3 tech, they are paying these big boys because they understand the importance of them. Now look at your team. I could put this blame on Dan Quinn. Does it look like Dan Quinn and Jerry Jones understand the importance of big boys? Or are they living in the past? What the moves that we made with Dan Quinn at the D tackle pass moves. Brandon Mebane, Big Tony McDaniels. That's the way that we were built this year, was the way that the Seattle team was built last year, in the Super Bowl winning years. But if he was really about it, like Master P said, if you really about it, you're going to bring in Deron Payne. If you really about it, you're going to bring in Quentin Williams. If you really about it, you're going to go ahead and you're going to put out some money to go get you a real 3 tech. If you're really about it. And if you see that 3 tech this year, you best to go pull it. I haven't really seen the D tackles yet, so I don't know, but we're going to get in that. I'm going to be real. I'm trying to be as thorough as possible with this draft. But it's sounding like it'd be maybe a developmental thing if you did find them, from what I've been kind of observing and hearing. But, I don't really go off of nobody's opinion. I got to see what for my own self. I got to, there's certain things that I take into consideration from others who really do this. But for the main part, I'm looking at it through my eyes. Oh, let me give you my top 5 real quick, y'all. I forgot to give y'all that. Let me give y'all top 5 before we wrap it up. For my wide receivers. My top 5 was Addison, Quentin Johnston, Jayshawn Butte, Zay Flowers, and Rashee Rice. And the only reason why Rashee Rice ain't up more is just because I'm going off of this college. But if it was all, but I'm going to tell you like I said earlier, when it's all said and done, Rashee Rice might be number 1. He got it. He got the physical tools. Let's see if he put it together. But that's my 5 right there. Right? Addison, what he does, he gonna come in right away and show that quickness, man. If Garrett Wilson, Chris Olave, and especially Chris Olave can come in and have that impact that he had with the Saints. Addison definitely can have the impact that he had, that whatever team that he, especially over here. I agree, Jay Bird. I agree. So that's my 5, man. I like Flowers. I like his heart. What was it? That Jackson Smith dude. I'll give you 6. But a lot of the times, man, what I really want to see from my wide receivers is fluidity and movement, right? And Addison, Quentin Johnston, Flowers, Butte, and Rice had that. Now, I know there's other wide receivers that I didn't watch, and we're gonna watch them. But from the 10, and them with the top one anyway. Everything that I'm looking at is gonna be more of a this man might be somebody, coming up, But then was the top. And from the top, that's my 5. Right? That's my 5. That's my 5, man. But I think Addison will fit a lot with this team. But Rice, with a saw sitting gun, I'm gonna say this one more time. That might be the guy right there, man. That might be the best one that come out this class so far, from what I've seen. And I watched 10 or 11 of them. That might be the number one, man. That might be your number one right there. I'm high on him. And you let that man go ahead and, like I said, have a good little combine if he participating on pro day. You let him. But anywho, man, y'all, I'm getting ready to get me something to eat, man. We get ready to get back to the lab, man. Look at these tight ends. You know, we're gonna come back with the tight ends, man. I appreciate y'all for joining me, man. If you haven't sold, please hit that like button for me, man. And until next time, y'all, we'll be back soon, y'all.